Wonderful to see you again.
Good
You
to
looked
see you.
absolutely stunning on the carpet last night.
Thank you.
Well done spending so much time with the press and all the
thank you.
fans. What a turnout it was, wasn't it? It was quite an event.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning of this. We did discuss briefly last night your absolute love and passion for this this monster character of many years ago. What does a new modern twist of the Mummy look like?
It looks visceral, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
scary and frightening. I think it's so fun, to bring those movies back now. The original ones were done over 80 years ago, and they were the first horror film, the first monster movies, and I think bringing them in modern day is quite thrilling, and seeing the Mummy destroy London can only be fun.
Look, you're right. I've been thinking a little bit about what it does to the body to be terrified. I watched Alien, the new Alien recently, and it just scared the crap out of me. And the Mummy had me up and down off the seat a couple of times. What is it we love about these kinds of films and how it makes us feel?
Well, first of all, you lose calories.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to watch the Mummy back to back for a month.
I heard that. I read that somewhere, that when you watch horror movies, you lose a lot of calories.
Damn.
But I think it triggers this place of imagination that other movies maybe don't as much, because, I mean, we don't live being scared all the time, do we? And it's just something it's a part of mystery that it just comes into your brain and your eyes at that point, and I think it's fun. And I think, there is two different kind of horrors. Many different kind of horror. I think this one comes with humor, so they're scared, but they're followed by laughter, which is so well done and fun to be part of. I think also because we get to observe characters that choose to make a decision and go dark, where we as person decide to drop it. Because every single one of us can decide, I think, when something happened to us, to go nasty, to be that monster, or to be that mean person. But we rationalize what happened to us, and we don't go there. So that's why I think when we watch Nemesis, or bad people, the baddies in movies, where we're fascinated by them because they go for what we decide to drop. And I think it's like watching, and everybody in films, I think, even if they're fantasy characters, I think even a creature, nothing is born mean and evil. And I think what's interesting to the eyes and to the brain is to observe what made those characters become that evil.
That's right.
And it's enjoying that journey. I think some of my favorite nemesis and baddies in films are the characters that I'm fascinated and was drawn to the most. And I realized that it's because I understand why they do what they do, even though I don't agree at all about their method about going about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. If you were to log on to the Princess Ahmed, the Mummy's Facebook page, and she was describing her relationship with Nick, with Tom Cruise, probably it's complicated. Would that be fair?
No. Heavily married and bonded.
That's exactly
Heavily
right.
glued. She's a bit of a stalker, isn't she?
A little bit.
Yeah. But she knows what she wants.
She does, and she goes for it, doesn't she?
Yeah, why not?
Now look, from your perspective, flipping the gender of the Mummy, stroke of genius, as we discussed last night, what do you think, particularly from a feminine perspective, do we have, whether it's the good or evil aspect of the Mummy gets added to it by making the Mummy a woman instead of a man?
I think when you piss off a woman, it's far more scary than if you piss off a man.
Just is,
Like,
isn't it?
I think we can take on a lot, we can be patient, but once it's over, I think you need to
Done.
put your sneakers on and run.
Just go. I'm with
Exactly.
you. Let's talk a little bit about getting up and putting sneakers on and going. An incredible, already at such a young age, career as a dancer. That discipline, what does it bring to you when you're now on film sets? What do you take from your career as a dancer onto a film set?
I do take on board the discipline is the highest aspect that I will apply in everything I do when it comes to work, and also the body language is something very important. When I observe people, how they sit and how they move tells me such a story about them. And I observe that. I think in all the roles I've been giving so far, I've been far more like very, very interested in the way they move and the way. And I don't know, maybe because I'm a dancer, I observe that. It's the first thing that I look at. I think the eyes perceive something before sound, and the brain computes that super rapidly. The first time you meet somebody, your brain does something that you don't even realize. And I want to apply that. I want this to be seen, and I want to be specific with the characters I get to play about that aspect in their relationship with their bodies, because of the circumstances and what they're going through. And I see, like, some of my favorite actors, I observe that in them, and I read through. I find it fascinating.
So when someone like, say, Tom Cruise walks up to you for the first time, what did your body and your mind and your psyche compute in an instant?
I think my body went into child mode straight away. Seriously, I met him. I was in Shepperton in London. I said, "You're going to meet him." And I was intimidated right before. So I walked in the room. I think I was wearing a jumper and a pair of jeans, and I had my Doc Martens on. And I just came from having trained and rehearsed with the director. And I sat with him, and he has this massive smile. And I just saw, I was like, well, you're a kid too. Such an enthusiasm like a child has. And he just had compliments for me, and I was like, how do you know all these things about me? And he had stalked me himself and researched me and looked at all my work, and I was just blown away, because I know all his work. Clearly he's Tom Cruise, but he's just a loving, lovely creature, lovely man. I'll absolutely adore him.
Marvellous. I'm getting wrapped. You are awesome. I could listen to you all day.
Really?
No, fantastic.
Thanks. You're very sweet.
So much.
Thank you.